You had a meeting on November 7th with Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, after which you became a minister without portfolio. What transpired in that meeting? Did you tell him that these are not, I did not benefit from this?
But he knew. Manmohan knew.
Then what happened in the meeting on November 7th?
No, I told him that this is outrageous. What's happening here? And you are, what's the evidence that I've done though? Please let me know. He said, but it's been decided that you can become minister without portfolio. I was very upset. I said, why? But I said, okay, fine. Then the Pathak Inquiry Committee, before it was formed, there was a meeting, Manmohan, Sonia, Chidambaram, to decide this, and Chidambaram said that
you should go to jail.
Yeah, open and shut case. Then where is the law minister? So it was discovered that he was in Lucknow. He'd gone by train, then he was asked to come back by a special aeroplane. And he said, but what's the necessity of all this? But then Sonia insisted that it should be done. But and the bottom line is, she is not used to being defied. I am the only congressman who has defied her.
So how did you defy her?
By not going and see her and say, Madam, I am crawling, and say, I am very sorry, please forgive me.
You didn't have to ask her to forgive you, but you could have had a normal conversation that, these accusations are made. They're not valid. Why are you not standing by that?
No. What was the mistake in sending for me to come along, explain it to me?
But this seems to be like an ego issue.
No, it's not an ego issue. It is a question of my honor. I said, I expected her. If something gone wrong with her, I would have said, no, Sonia can't do this. I was so close to her for so many years and a family. She would have made the first statement instead of telling the Congress spokesperson to give this thing. Without even, only 8 hours she could have waited. And I'm a tough guy.
But you put an expectation in your mind that she should call for you.
Of course.
How would she know by telepathy that that was your expectation?
Why shouldn't she know?
How could she imagine that that was your expectation?
No, her reaction should have been that I know him very well, he'll never do it.
No, that's your should have been.
Yeah.
But in, say, if you look at it in a corporate style, that if somebody is questioned about something, usually the person will go to the boss and say, listen, I haven't done this.
No, this kind
but
of...
the boss doesn't, you don't have to wait for the boss to call you.
No, but the kind of relationship I had with her, any friend would have said, no, my friend will not do this. And on the contrary, the Congress...
But any friend would also go to the other friend and say, why are you not supporting me? Why are you...
No. She had already made up her mind by telling the Congress spokesperson to say that Congress is clean, he can look after himself. Now, under those circumstances, men like me, no question of going, no compromise at all when honor is involved. And I didn't go to see her for 8 years. We suffered. I said, but listen, I told Manmohan, I said, listen, in my way...
No, the question is that it's not like you're going there to apologize or play. The question is more like you're going to a friend and saying that, look, this has happened. Why didn't you wait for me to come back? That's what normal people would do without any hierarchical system. That, look, why didn't you wait for me to come back? Why did you issue this statement? You should have asked me first before issuing this. Those are normal things that you should have gone to her and demanded to know.
No. See, there's no Ganesh, you receive me after their statement had been done, and in my absence he had been told that, everybody will say that you got the money, we're so close to you. So I was not going to risk. People said, please telephone. I said, I'm not going to telephone because I won't be able to get to her. Question doesn't arise. She had already decided.
So you decided there was no point in being humiliated further by her rejection of your phone calls or asking for an appointment.
Absolutely. Otherwise...
That seems like very old-fashioned honor.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
I'm 83 years old, and I come from a family in which honor is very important.
That bounces in your veins.
Yeah.
What also bounces in your veins is revenge.
No, it's not.
It is.
No.
It's good.
No. 8 years, what do you think the revenge was? I went through hell. No, this book, when they indicated here...
But isn't revenge good?
No.
Isn't it good to put somebody in their place?
No. That satisfaction could have been done if I was 30 years younger.
But haven't you got your satisfaction in this?
No. I have put the facts and I told her. I said, I will do nothing underhand, but I will tell the truth.
But when she came here, what is it that she asked you to take out? Because her refusing the president's, the Congress presidency is hardly an issue to be embarrassed about.
You see,
there must have been something more that she was either afraid of or that you did take out.
I'll tell you, no, I didn't take out anything at all. It was too late. The book was already printed. It was not in the market on the 7th of May when she
So
came.
what was she afraid of?
No, now, on the 28th of April, an interview of mine appeared in the Economic Times.
Yes.
That very morning, Suman Dubey
called you
called me.
up.
Suman
Yeah.
called me up and said, "Can you see Sonia?" I said, "No, I don't want to." Then Priyanka rang up. "Could she see me?" I said, "No, you can see me after a week." So she rang up on
You
the...
were also playing hard to get.
Yeah. No, because I was, I told her that I'm not even
I'm
in
not
town.
your slave anymore.
No, I'm not only, I told her I'm not even in town. I'm far away. So I said, the 6th, she said. I said, "Come tomorrow." And she came at 11 o'clock. And, then we talked about the kids and the Amethi election, all the rest of it. And then she said that her mother has sent it to me about my autobiography. I said, "What about it?" He said, "Will you be mentioning the events that have occurred in May 2004 before the government was sworn in?" I said, "Yes. But I will not do anything which is A, not true, B, which is hitting below the belt. But nobody can edit my autobiography." And then I told her what precisely had happened in the 8 years, how we were hounded by the ED, by the IB, by the media, by the government, by the Congress party. And and if I had been a weaker person, I would have collapsed. But I'm a tough guy. I said, "No, you can do your damnedest. I'm not going to come and say crawl." And, you see, for defiance, prices you paid. I paid the price.
But Natwar Singh ji, you had a culture, as you have also written in the book, from Indira Gandhi's time, where she is an empress, you've done all that Makhanbaji for years and years and years. They expected the same from you?
No.
They expected it to continue.
But Indira,
you compared her to Julius Caesar. What could be worse than that?
No. This, as I told you, was a light-hearted remark.
I'm talking about in context to your book. They expected you to obey them as per norms.
You see, this is what I've written there. Nobody born in India would have done this. Rajiv wouldn't have done this.
That is a really low blow.
Yeah. Indira Gandhi would have done it. Pandit Nehru wouldn't have done it. I mean, Indira Gandhi, can you imagine doing anything like this? Why I have said nice thing about her? Because she was she was so nice to me. And she has so been nice to me. And she should have said, "No, I agree." Indira never said anything. Rajiv never. So many things we did with Rajiv.
So what was it that they were afraid of? I mean, this is hardly anything. There must have been something more.
No, there was. They thought that I would say everything that happened in the book. So I told them that there are certain things one doesn't say. Because A, I have some constraints as a decent man. And secondly, certain things, silence is better. I could have written much more, but I didn't.
You wrote that Rajiv Gandhi did not make a penny from Bofors.
Yeah.
Who did?
I have no idea. You must ask Arun Nehru when he's dead.
But you were around then at that time.
No, I was not.
And during the period, you were around when Quattrochi was protected, when he was informed that he was going to be arrested and he took off.
No, I was not directly involved in this at all because I'm Minister of State. First fertilizer, then steel.
You knew everything that was going on with the family.
No, I certainly not. There are certain things that they don't tell anybody. Except
the Quattrochi story, you do not know?
No, I don't know the details of it all. I mean, he used to see them very frequently and his name was there, but I didn't know that he had this kind of intimate relationship with them. I think I must have met him 4 or 5 times.
But if you put the circumstantial evidence together, which is him leaving the night before his arrest, so he was informed that he's going to be arrested. His bank account, he withdraws all his money before the courts
but that
freeze.
the government of India did, the UPA did. They sent Bharadwaj there.
Exactly.
I had nothing to do with it.
No, but I'm asking, I know you may not have had anything to do with it, but do you think that Sonia made money out of that?
No, I can't say that. I just can't say that. Because I don't know.
Now, you were advising the Congress Party president for years, and in some ways in personal capacity also. When she lost her husband, when state leaders came for the first time, she didn't know what to say to them. You advised her, just listen, all that kind of thing. Now, when that kind of level of advising continued right through your tenure as minister, why did you not suggest to her that it was not correct for her to receive files from other ministries?
But I did. I said, how do you know? I said, you are now questioning my honor and integrity.
No, I'm questioning why you didn't advise her.
Who?
Sonia Gandhi.
No, how do you advise her? Because you're not supposed to know. It's only my case. Only my case. Now, Manmohan says he didn't send files, but Baru says he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is his name, that boy?
Chatterjee?
Chatterjee used to go there, have tea with her. When she asked me that you are dabbling in defense deals.
Yeah. How did she know?
No. I said, how do you know? How do you know that on the file I have written this? How did she know? And I said, my honor, you can have resignation here.
But you told her my signature is not on it.
Exactly. And I said, she said, you've spoken to Pranav. I said, of course I have. He's defense minister. The file came to me, I'm sending it to him.
Yeah.
But the fact that she knew, that's the thing.
Yeah, but did you not advise her that she shouldn't be doing this?
What do we do, advise her?
Meaning, she's the Congress president.
Listen, no.
She created a power center.
No, wait a minute. You see, all leaders have compartments, what to say to which one, another compartment for another one, third compartment. This is the pattern how leaders deal. They will not tell X why they've told Y. That's why.
But I still feel, just a suggestion that since you were probably the closest person to her, you could have suggested that, taking files from different ministries and...
Let me tell you honestly, till she wrote this...
You didn't know?
I really didn't know, because she would never talk about it. And she said to me that I've learned this from my mother-in-law. Certain things you don't share with anybody.
I think she learned a little too much from that.
Maybe.
After you met Manmohan Singh, what happened on December 3rd when you met him again, and then the day before you said you were not going to resign, and then the next day you did? What happened?
No, because there was... You see, Parliament in the earlier part, both houses had said he's okay at the end of the debate. And Advani said that if he had known this earlier, then we wouldn't have had a debate, because he's not guilty. Then the Parliament was stopping. And I was being, villain of the peace. So I said, no, take it, quit.
Now, if you look at it from Paul Volcker's point of view, when he sees your name and the Congress Party's name on those coupons, how is he supposed to imagine that Andalip just gave those names without your permission?
No, he should have sent a message to this is what the Chidambaram said in the Lok Sabha and the Raj Sabha, that Mr. Volker has not informed the Congress government that your name is included, what do you have to say?
But there were hundreds of names, he couldn't have asked all of them.
No country took any notice. There were 150 countries mentioned, and individuals, presidents, prime ministers, nothing. This is the only country you mentioned because of the Sonia took the initiative. And as I told you, she's not used to defying. Nobody defies her. Nobody tells her, madam, you're wrong.
No, but why did she take the initiative? Because you had not defied her before this.
No, listen, I was we used to have the most intimate discussions, and there are many things in which I would say, no, have a second look at this, this kind of a thing is, Nobody says that. And it's a basic fundamental thing. She's just not used to it.
But before, as I said, before you defied her by not going to explain yourself, you had not had any clash with her. You had not defied her. So what was the reason for her, as you have implied in the book, that the Prime Minister met Volker twice for an hour each, and you've implied that nobody knows what happened in those meetings? What you're implying is clearly that there is a conspiracy between Volker and the... No, you're
I've
not.
said so in the clip.
Okay.
I don't know about Manmohan because they know each other.
All right.
Volker,
so what was her motive in wanting to get rid of you?
No, you see, you must write that the cabal got round. Politics is a blood sport. The intrigues go on. I was so close, I said, let's get rid of this chap. And
so who was the cabal? Chidambaram?
No, there were 7, 8 people who were very close to her. But
So let's see. It's Chidambaram. Who else?
I think it was Kapil Sibal or 1 or 2 others.
Yeah,
But
Kapil.
but I mean, the names they're known. I don't want to name them. I give
We
them-
don't know. It would be good to know how this
I
internal
I don't
cabals
I
work.
don't want to give them respectability, but they know who the people are. And she
You're
knows.
not giving them respectability, you're giving them irrespectability.
No, I'm not. I don't want
Disrespect,
to.
rather.
No, it's not my nature to do this. do this. But I stood my ground.
But you didn't fight back
But I did.
with her against the cabal.
But this is what I've said in the book. Detailed, I've said this is the stuff, and that she should have done this. And I've said repeatedly that her husband wouldn't do it, her mother-in-law wouldn't do it, and Jawaharlal Nehru wouldn't do it. And this is the non-Indian part of.
There you wounded her to the quick,
Yep.
where you knew it would really wound her.
Yeah.
So that is revenge. And it is in your blood. And it's okay.
No, I don't think it's okay.
I think it's okay.
No, it's an honorable thing to do is, suppose I told you, as a younger man, yes, I would have. And looking at this age, but I have been exonerated by Pathak, and I have been exonerated by the people of India.
Is it normal for political parties to raise funds like this?
I'm sure it is. In some cases, it's legal. You have records, and our laws allow, but you declare them.
Now, the pact that you made with Brajesh Mishra, that both parties, the Congress Party and the BJP, will stay off family. We will not attack family. Now that Brajesh Mishra is gone and you are out of the Congress Party, does this mean that now the BJP, with Narendra Modi having no family, that the gloves are off to attack families, the personal lives of people? Like during BJP, there was Vajpayee's family, there were a few attacks made on Ranjan Bhattacharya, and then there was a calming down. Then here, this side, there were attacks on Robert Vadra, and then there was. So, does that agreement stand now that both of you are out of it?
Well, the Modi government has been in office only 3 months, so this is not a priority. But I think they probably will act against Vadra.
Against Robert Vadra? Because the pact that you made with Brajesh Mishra now cannot stand.
No, because it doesn't stand. The whole, the political situation has changed.
What was the purpose of making such a pact
Which?
with Brajesh, that we'll stay off each other?
This is not. This happens in all political parties all over the world.
Explain it to me. How does it happen?
No, this happens that the political game is.
It doesn't happen all over the world.
No,
And
no.
the Republicans went after Clinton in the worst way
Yeah,
for what in our country would be ignored.
They didn't go after Kennedy. They knew precisely what
That
to
was
do.
a different age,
No, it's not. It's what
where the press colluded with Kennedy and all his girlfriends.
That's what I'm saying. This is what has been happening since the beginning of time. If you go in the 18th century England and you can say, okay.
But now in this age, everything is exposed.
So,
You look at the list of politicians where, especially in America, in France it's all right, but in England and in America, they're very puritanical about their politicians. They do whatever they like. Public does whatever they like.
Yeah,
but the politicians have to be like priests.
That puritanicalism is just hoax.
It is totally.
Yeah, of course it's a hoax. I mean, it's the most licentious country in the world. Huh?
Absolutely. But when it comes to politicians, they're rather strict.
No, they are strict because if this is exposed. And now, Kennedy, everybody knew. Everybody knew when Roosevelt died, his mistress was with
Yes,
him,
of course.
not his wife.
But we're talking about today,
Yeah.
where the Indian press, I must say, barring, say, the incident with N.D. Tiwari, the Indian press has stayed away from personal sexual activities of prime ministers and ministers. Basically, everybody knows what's going on, but they never covered it. We knew about Narasimha Rao, where his girlfriend lived. Nobody ever wrote about it.
Exactly. If you didn't try it, why do you expect anybody else to?
No.
You had a pact, unwritten pact. We won't attack these chaps, their private life. Fine. Same happens to me. That you are.
That's very clever.
No, you are conniving at it. You are conniving
The
at
press
it.
is behaving responsibly,
Yeah.
but you're in a political position
No.
where where it is not about sexual activities, it's usually about financial activities.
No.
Which the public are entitled to know
Yeah.
if relatives of people in power are misusing their position. So there's a different connotation here.
No, it's not.
So the pact that the press has in India,
You
that we
have
won't go into your
exposed so
personal
many-
lives,
Look at-
but when it's financial with the families,
No.
I think the press has a right to know and the people have a right
look
to
at
know.
this. Look at the scams. Yeah. Now I want to ask: do you recall a statement by the Congress president saying that this is wrong? When the G2 came out, Commonwealth came out, coal came out, and said that the Prime Minister, you must explain it to me. Did she say a word? No, she didn't. Why not? She should have. That's the question to answer. And I am just telling you that there are unwritten rules in politics which are played at a very high level. We have here, because people talk about that. Listen, we are the people who wrote the Kama Sutra.
No, but we're comparing apples and oranges. We're talking about, in the West, about the Western coverage, about sexual coverage. I'm talking about financial misdemeanors and illegal activities of families of people in power. And that is the pact that you made with Brajesh Mishra, that we will not attack each other's families in the
No, but
various
that's
parties.
not financial. That's a political thing. Nothing to do with
All right,
finance.
call it political, but
Yeah.
it's about families who've been misusing their position, being close to power,
No.
and getting deals done.
No. There are still gentlemen in politics.
Who?
Who? Vajpayee is gentleman.
Who? Name one.
Vajpayee is gentleman.
All right.
Yep. Rajiv Gandhi was gentleman.
No, now,
Jawaharlal
existing.
Nehru.
Right now.
No, I don't know all these people who are around because I don't have any
There are no
contact.
gentlemen in politics left.
Maybe not, but there
Name
were.
one.
No, I have named you now. The one that I.
Who to gaye, bichare?
I don't know anybody now because I'm not in contact with them.
But you've been in politics or in the service for 44 years, 45 years.
But I can tell you, when I was a very young man, I could name you Raja Gopalati, Sardar Patel.
Today, there are no gentlemen in politics. That's what you're
Maybe
saying.
you may be right, because you keep in touch with them. I don't.
So tell me then, going back to this pact, do you think that this is a pact that is valid, that you don't touch our people, families who are doing these kind of things, financial things, using the power that they're in, the position that they're in? Do you think that's the right thing to do? You've done everything else you're saying as with your honor intact. Was that an honorable pact? You were protecting Robert Vadra.
No, I'm not. I don't even know the chap. I don't even know him.
But you were protecting the family.
No, listen, when this question arose, when you say that, there are unwritten rules, and this is one of them. It's not dog eat dog. Maybe now, but even now, you won't see that this is practiced. No.
Because everybody has skeletons in the closet.
Whatever you call it. But this is an unwritten rule, which people may say that this is rubbish, this is dishonest, and there is no honor involved in it. But there are rules of the game.
That you stay away from each other's families. But you had to discuss it with Brajesh to get to that agreement.
How do you mean?
Like you made a pact with him.
No, but he knew, I knew, there's nothing new. We knew that this is part of the game.
You said, you wrote that during the emergency, you are not proud of your conduct. What did you do that you were not happy with? How would you have done it differently?
You see, we were justifying the unjustifiable. We were defending the indefensible. Bikaner was part of it, I was party to it. I remember writing to Srimati Indira Gandhi that I know what to say to our critics, but I don't know what to say to our friends. Now, the extreme step could be quit. I didn't think it was worth quitting. My contention was that both B.K. Nehru and I thought emergency means 3 months, 6 months. We didn't expect
2 years.
2.5 years. So for the first 6 months, the news was that things weren't so bad till started exposing. Then when people know what the activities of Sanjay were and the things were this sterilization and all.
So what would you have done differently?
And as I said so, that I should have taken a stand and said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to propagate this.
Support this,
Yes,
okay.
support this.
That's what you would do differently.
Yeah, I would have done
looking
differently,
back.
yes. And I am frank enough to admit this in my autobiography. The difficulty was that the information that was coming was so inaccurate. So the only person I could write to was Sharda Prasad, who was God's own good name. So he used to say, you just don't know what's happening here. And I don't know what's happening here. But the situation in you just couldn't sell it. Nobody in England believed, what the hell are you talking about? The newspapers, till the 18th, on the 12th June when the judgment came out, of Justice Sinha, and people laughed in England. What is all this? 26th January, 180-degree turn. And nobody in the press would even talk to us. Just forget it. You sent our chaps out, BBC being closed, no freedom at all. It was very, very tough. And we were justifying, as I told you, not as a government servant, my duty. But there is a time when you have to say, no, this is not my duty.
Mm-hmm. So you should have done that.
I should have done that.
Now, during that time also with Mrs. Indira Gandhi, you, as we spoke earlier, organized these conferences and all that. And then you very frankly in your book write about how you lobbied with her to get a Padma Shri and a Padma Bhushan. And is that how things are done?